Hey everyone, welcome to American Legends and Myths. I'm Shaky Jr. and this lovely young lady with me is Miss Leo. Tonight we're going to be discussing the Mothman. How you doing, Leo?
Doing good, feeling good. Gonna see what we can figure out a little bit about the Mothman.
Ah, cool. So, what do you know about the Mothman, Leo? You want to start it off?
Um, we know that in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in 67, 66 and 67, and I was born in 66. Um, the Silver Bridge goes from the Ohio River to Point Pleasant, and right before Christmas it collapsed during rush hour traffic, killed 45 people, and I think it was at just after 5 p.m. And they say that an eye bar caused a crack in something which ultimately caused the collapse. And but people in the area had for a few months ahead of time had premonitions and sightings, a few about this happening. And so looking back now, they wondered if the Mothman was warning or whatnot.
Yeah. You know, that's what made the Mothman famous. But he's actually been seen all over the world. And it's kind of funny because it's not funny, but um, he was seen right before that bridge collapsed. He was seen in Russia right before Chernobyl meltdown happened in the power plant went
Uh-huh.
off. He's been spotted. We just talked to a gentleman on Facebook here the other day. You and I were conversing with him. He said that they just had what, like 2009, had a couple of sightings of him in Southern Illinois right before a tornado came through there.
Exactly, yes.
So evidently, people have been seeing this creature before disasters have struck.
Um, I also found, and whether, what this is our myths and legends, whether it's true or not, but I have also found where people said that they have had sighted him before 9/11.
Wow, that's
Now,
interesting.
we don't know, but there are reports of it.
He was actually when he was first sighted. He came from an area called Flatwoods, and he was known as Flatwoods Monster for a while. And and they when the thing happened in Point Pleasant, they were trying to find a name for him. That's when the press came out, and they were trying to find a name for him, and they wanted to name him Batman because of the description, but they already had the character, the superhero character Batman, so they couldn't name him Batman, so they named him Mothman. That's how they came up with the Mothman name. And then those teenagers had a run-in with him up at TNT, which was um, a
Bunkers.
place where they stored from World War II, just stored the ammunition and stuff.
Yes, the bunkers.
All right, they had run-ins with them,
Where the teenagers
and
used to go to the party and make out or arc or whatever. Yeah.
one of the witnesses, I remember the witness just talking about her encounter, and she says as her and her boyfriend were driving away, or her brother was with her or something,
I
the
think it
kid,
was her
they went,
brother and her little brother, sister, a couple of the younger siblings in the back seat.
Kids in the car. I remember this thing was chasing them, but
Yeah.
she made a comment. There was a German Shepherd laying on the side of the road, and another encounter that was recorded miles away. The guy reported his German Shepherd was missing, and
Yes.
that was kind of weird that she happened to say that dog was there, not knowing anything about the the dog missing from miles away. So
Yes.
coincidence? I don't know. That's kind of weird.
And the um, things I've researched have also talked about animals, pets missing.
Yeah.
And I have heard the story of the German Shepherd missing. And
Oh,
I've heard the story, the woman you're talking about, because she said they weren't supposed to be up there. They knew they weren't, and Daddy was going to be mad or whatever. And they were just, then when that happened, they just, skedaddled home. And I've seen her on TV on a few different shows,
right, right.
her story.
Now, a couple people have, I guess, scientists or people from university that come out and thought maybe this thing was an owl, and then one came out and said no, maybe it's a sandhill crane, which stands almost as tall as a man and has red around the eyes. It could have
Yep,
got off migration.
yep,
Uh, yeah, there's a lot of theories what it could be. You know, when that sun goes down and everything gets dark outside, unless something flies in front of a full moon, you don't know what's out there. If it sleeps during the day, how would you know if it's flying around up there at night? You know, if it stays clear of cities and towns for the most part, and stays more to rural areas, you wouldn't know it's up there around.
no,
Small aircraft fly, at night they fly 2,000 feet and up because of radio towers and whatnot. And big airplanes they're up in the 30,000s of feet. So this thing could cruise around 500 feet above the earth, right over the treetops, and you wouldn't even know it was there.
exactly. And this story, another story I found was that were two couples. This was the said the first time the Mothman was mentioned in the newspaper was 66 at November 16th. So it could have been. Did the bridge collapse in 66 or 67?
Um,
I've got it right here. But the bridge collapsed right before Christmas.
yeah, I'm thinking 67.
Yeah, well, and this was November 66. It was two couples um, out riding around. They were married couples, and they saw a bird-like creature. Then Stephen Mary Malita,
Yeah,
and Roger and Linda Scarberry. And they were near McClinty Wildlife Reserve on Route 62. Said they crested a hill and claimed that when they crested the hill, they came face to face with a creature with 7 foot tall, big red eyes, and a 10-foot wingspan. And they swerved and got around it or whatever, and then seconds later, it was back in front of the car.
wow.
And so they either turned around or turned to head to town anyway. And it showed up again in the middle of the road, laying like it was dead. And so they stopped and said they felt like it was a trap, or they were all, I'm sure, scared out of their minds. And they felt like it was a trap. They weren't going to get out, whatever. And they backed up, turned around, and ended up in town, came back a few hours later with a deputy sheriff. And there was nothing there, but they said there was a pile of ashes in the road.
Huh.
And the deputy sheriff saw it.
Wow.
So, what's that about? I don't know. Um,
That's crazy. All you Pokemon fans out there, this is long before Pokemon, but the Mason County Sheriff George Johnson, he made a comment that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large heroine named a Shitapoke. So I guess they had Pokemon back there. Y'all were chasing the Shitapoke around. I had to, I
maybe,
had to bring that up.
who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
Oh man.
But,
Yeah, they have a lot of names for it. It was a Birdman. And like I said, the Flatwoods Monster. They had a lot of different names for it, and evidently this thing has been around for a long time. I think even the Indians had names for it. So it's you
um,
know
I did find, but I did not get back to the right place to finish researching it. But was a story from the 1890s in a Quebec village, and where they had sightings and whatnot. But I didn't get back to research that because I've had a bad week. But yes, that even in the 1800s there were sightings, and because that's what I want to know is um where did it come from? Can we figure out what the origin was or is? Um, there's other things. The Jersey Devil,
yeah,
at
we're
least.
gonna we're gonna get into him in one of our shows too.
Yes, we will. But at least with him, we
He was
do
born. That's right. He was supposed to be born.
we do have the story that he was what, the 13th kid, the
Yeah,
mama,
yeah.
you know,
Mama Leeds' 13th child. You're right. That's right. Exactly right.
and she,
She cursed.
but cursed him.
Yep.
But and whether that's true or not true or whatever, at least we have that. But where the heck did the Mothman come from?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
we do have a lot of and Will and Steve, think about too. There have been stories for years of great big birds picking up children and that kind of thing. You hear once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever seen a golden eagle up close? Now,
I don't.
a bald
I've,
eagle. Bald eagle gets big.
I've,
Bald eagle
we have
huge.
bald eagles here in our area. You don't see them that often, but you do a couple of times a year, and you can tell a bald eagle.
Yeah. Well, golden eagles, I believe, even get bigger. And I tell you what. Let's just go back to the bald eagle in Dutch Harbor up there on the Bering Strait, but Dutch Harbor, Alaska.
Yep.
The police have to walk the kids to school because the bald eagles attack the kids. It's that bad up there. So you get a bird like a golden eagle that somebody's not really familiar with seeing that looks more like a hawk than an eagle, because they're not like a bald eagle. They're more brownish or gold, whatever. The color's more
Yeah.
brownish, whatever. You get this huge bird with this giant wingspan. It comes down to snatch up some little kid. Yeah, they've got a lot of fake things on YouTube. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, they got a lot of fake things on YouTube. But I have seen with my own eyes growing up next to the river a bald eagle snatch my neighbor's dog out of his yard.
Darn.
And I'm telling you, I've seen it. A bald eagle is ruthless, and so is an osprey. If they think they can get it and go, they're going to take it.
Well, I'm here on the North Carolina coast. We got osprey,
Oh yeah.
and we do have some bald eagles too. We also have buzzards and hawks, big hawks. And my daddy always had a problem with trying to keep the hawks away from the chickens, you know. And yeah, I've got a little 10-pound dog, and I watch her outside because something can, snatch it. And there are stories of children being snatched by big birds. Thankfully, most of the ones I've seen, the birds dropped them. But who knows, through the years, who knows?
Man.
And maybe that could be a Mothman type of, who knows?
You don't know. You don't know. Especially being at nighttime. Maybe they're not getting a good look at it because it's dark out. Maybe they're not. Yeah, I don't know. I here recently heard of a young lady right here in Virginia that just had a sighting, and what I heard it described was the Mothman, and this was just within the last month. And if I get a hold of her, I want to talk to her, and I would love to have her come on and tell us what she saw. And if anybody out there has had any kind of sighting, please contact us. There's an email address on the show on the YouTube channel. We're on Facebook. Contact us. I'm willing to either one of us. We want to hear your story, and please share it because it's not something I've seen, but I sure would love to know about it. I don't
Yes,
doubt anybody.
exactly. That the other fella, I won't mention his name, but the fella who had mentioned the sightings before the tornado come through.
Yeah.
I'd love for him to come on and talk to us too. Um,
Even if not about the thing, the other issue he's got going on, I would love to hear about. That's just crazy. What he's got going on his farm.
oh yes, I saw that today. Yeah,
He's got a big problem on his farm, and I would love to have
lost,
him.
lost a cow.
Yeah, lost a calf. So I would,
Yeah,
at some
yeah.
point, I'd love to have him come talk about it.
Oh, maybe he will.
It'd be awesome.
Yes, it would.
Yeah,
Um,
there's so much. And, like I've always said, there is so much in this universe that we don't know, and what is possible once that sun goes down that we can't see. What can move in the darkness that we're just so unaware of? Oh,
exactly.
In Alaska, they've had sightings of huge birds up there, airplane pilots up there. And I fly. I used to fly. I was a pilot back in the 80s and 90s. I was an airplane pilot.
Yeah.
General aviation. And I'm telling you, a pilot knows how big something is when he's on an airplane in the air. You know how big something is looking down at it. You can tell.
Yeah.
And this guy is flying his airplane, and he looks down, and he's describing this bird that's the size of his Cessna. That's a big bird.
That's scary.
That is
But
a
I believe, I mean, we would be arrogant to believe that we are the only thing. I believe in God. I believe God created us. But who knows what else He created?
I don't know.
You know?
I have no clue that.
And, there's so much out there. And as we've said before, God will reveal Himself in His own time.
Well, look
So
at
maybe we'll find out in our lifetime, maybe we won't. But that, yes, there's so much. And maybe maybe some of these big bird experiences are a Mothman or a similar, but we don't know. Um,
The Mothman, especially in Virginia, at Point Pleasant, has impacted that community so much that they now have a festival once a year. In the middle of the town, there is a 12-foot statue, like a bronze statue,
yeah,
that people come and take pictures with they get up front and take pictures with this thing, and there's a museum there. It's changed their whole town. What happened back in the '60s has impacted that town
yes,
so much. It's crazy. It's
exactly. Well, and that's good, um, for the economy, and people want to go and look, see if they see or whatever. But it's still scary because do you really want to run into one?
well, another thing about the Mothman that I find kind of funny is where it turned up at and where these kids found it was at a government facility.
Yes, that
You
is
know,
suspicious.
so it's kind of weird that this thing turns up. Could the government have really created this creature or something and it got loose? You know, could it be could it be not something God made, but something our own government made back then? They were doing crazy stuff back in the '60s.
Well, you darn right, and through World War II and Hitler and the mess he and his cohorts were trying to do and put together scientifically and all of that horrible, horrible stuff. It could be. Um, are there do you know other than those uh what are they called, the army bunkers?
Yeah,
Other than the bunkers and whatever, are there caves, other caves and anything in that area?
I would imagine. I would imagine. I mean, there are caves all through West Virginia. There's caves here.
Yeah.
I would imagine there are.
So perhaps if it was living in the caves and it's still living in the caves, but if the last 40 years or 50 years those bunkers had been there, it could have very well go stay in a bunker from time to time, other than the cave. I mean, move out, stay in the bunkers and then in the caves too.
I
Which
just find it so crazy.
which reminds me, I also saw a piece um where two people went into bunkers. One seems like they had known each other way back when, and anyway, they got back together over after a number of years, and just one traveled to visit the other and just visited, had a visit, and one of them anyway lived in uh Point Pleasant,
Wow.
and said, well, let's go walk through the bunkers. They just wanted to go out, hike, walk around, whatever, took a camera or whatever, and they went in the bunkers. I don't know if they went in three, two, if it was the first one, but anyway, seems like it was the woman that was from there, and the guy had come down to visit her, and they were walking in the bunker, had got a little bit way in, and he had his camera, and something grabbed him by the leg,
Mm.
and he was pretty darn certain Something had grabbed him by the leg.
Wow.
And he took a quick picture or two, either immediately before, after, during, I don't know. But they did have a couple of pictures of a misty something odd.
Huh.
But they got out and didn't go back.
Man.
And he said something now, whether it was a spirit
Excuse me.
or the Mothman or, who knows what it was, but he was pretty darn certain something grabbed his leg
Hmm.
and scared him pretty good. But like I said, their pictures did have some smoky, you know, could have been a spirit, could have been a Mothman, could have been nothing. Could have been, the flash on the camera. It's hard to tell, but I'm wondering, and I would like to know, do the teenagers still go down there and park and burn bonfires and hang out like they did in
Oh.
the 60s? Or have they been scared off by now?
The kids probably still go up there. At least as far as they can. They probably try to. With that
Well,
legislator, that you sure? I'm sure somebody goes up there trying to. You
yeah.
know.
I told one of my old high school friends the other day we were idiots, and he said, "Why do you say that?" I said, "Because we were teenagers. We thought we knew everything. We didn't know anything, and we were idiots. And teenagers still are idiots. They'll go. Let's go see what. If we can see it, or um." But
Now my dogs will go crazy.
mine went a crazy a little bit ago, but they settled on down. They'll bark at something 5 miles up the road.
Yeah.
But the pictures, the few pictures I have seen of the bridge collapse, are just horrible, and they're black and white. They're old pictures. They're taken from far away. But when you hear the stories um, of the cars falling into the river and the Christmas presents, wrapped Christmas presents were floating.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That
there's still bodies
is,
that are missing. They didn't get all of them. Like three or four bodies were still missing, and it was uncovered.
um,
It's sad.
what, yeah, what I read recently was
December
that,
15th, I believe. It was like a week before Christmas.
yeah, it was right before Christmas, and it was 5 o'clock traffic,
Yeah.
and from what I read, it said 45 dead, but could be more. We don't know. But I've heard about the Mothman and this story for years and years and years, and it just breaks my darn heart to
Yeah.
think about the Christmas presents floating in the damn river.
Tragedies are bad enough, but when they happen at a holiday like that, it's so much
I
worse.
know, all of the mamas and daddies that didn't come home, and the whole thing. Yeah.
Um,
Um. Now, um, have you seen the woman that talks about that her son committed suicide on that bridge?
no, no, I don't think so.
Um. Her son, don't quote me on any of it. And if anybody knows the details and wants to let us know, you can fill us in. But anyway, he was a teenager and had a friend or two, whatever, and seemed to be a good boy in general, whatever. And he and a friend went one night to the trestle where the train. There's a train trestle near where the bridge was, or that the train still goes through.
Yeah.
And the Mothman has been seen on that trestle
Right.
a number of times, and he kind of got into the Mothman or whatever, and he ended up. He and his friend were out there late at night, and the train was coming close enough to the end, the end of the track, but his friend was close enough. He got off and avoided it, and I don't know if he jumped or if the train hit him and knocked him off, but anyway, his mama and sister always felt like the Mothman had something to do with it, that he had been intrigued by the Mothman or something that had drawn him to it.
Wow. That's like the
And,
Goatman story.
yeah,
Same thing happened with some kid with the Goatman. Wow.
yeah. And his sister still, um, his mama might still be alive, but if she is, she's old, really old now. But his sister still goes out and
You sure you're
looks.
not talking about the Goatman? Because that sounds a lot like the Goatman story where the boy went out on the train track and got killed by a train or something. And the sister was on a TV show not long ago talking about it. He was obsessed with the Goatman.
Maybe it was the Goatman, Steve.
I think that's the Goatman. I really do.
I really felt like it was the Mothman, but it might have been.
I'm
Might
almost
be right.
positive.
I might be wrong.
I'm almost positive that was the Goatman. I'm almost 100% sure it's the Goatman.
I might be wrong then. Yes, I think you're right, and I'm wrong. But wasn't it kind of in the same,
It was local. I mean, it was Maryland or Virginia. It was around this area somewhere. It wasn't far off. I don't think. But
wasn't it kind of in the same area, within a few states or whatever?
yeah, the boy got really into the Goatman and wound up going out on the train track. And I don't know if the train hit him or he didn't hit the train. The train hit him or something. Somehow he wound up dying out there. And his sister
Either,
come
yeah,
back and she wanted to know why she wanted to feel what he felt or whatever. And she tried to connect with him out there or something. I remember just seeing that not long ago.
you're right. I think it was the Goatman, not the Mothman. These bands, Wild Man, Goatman, Mothman.
It's all good.
Good Lord.
It's all good.
Um, well, how about the Mountain Monsters episode with the
Yeah,
Mothman?
they tried to catch him one time. They tried to catch all of them.
And remember what happened with that? Buck got knocked out,
Yeah.
and
The trap gets broke up and and the thing gets away.
of course, um,
That's a good show. I like this show. Though.
I love it, and I know they're real. They're real monster hunters, or they were. for years.
Buck's actually a correctional officer here in West Virginia.
Yeah, I know he's yeah, and
It's,
they're all true hunters, trappers, trackers, and they have been at this for some time, and they are credible in that sense. But but once you get on TV, it's going to be more dramatization and whatever.
they're making an interesting show. It's ratings, but it's cool. I
Yeah,
like it.
it's way ahead of Finding Bigfoot.
I like it. Oh yeah.
At least it's exciting. Whether we know parts put on and part might be true, but
They run through the woods shooting and stuff, not hooting and hollering, and breaking, being sticks from.
yeah, at least, but it's exciting at least.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I can't wait for the new season. Um, Finding Bigfoot's um, I don't hardly even watch it anymore. But okay, back to Mothman. What else do you know?
I think we about covered everything. Not a whole, not a whole lot to it. About what we, much more than what we had talked about.
I I want to know. My biggest question about him is where did he come from?
I don't
I
know. I do not know.
Well, it's like Bigfoot. We know has been here tens of thousands or a million years or whatever. Um, like I said, at least with the Jersey Devil, we do have a birth story, whether it's true or not or what. But the Mothman, even though,
I mean, it's like he's just appeared, and that's kind of makes me wonder if that a government thing or experiment
yeah,
that got loose or they turned loose or what. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
exactly. And like I said, I found something from the 1800s about him in Canada.
Oh, well, he's been around for a while now. That wouldn't be a government experiment back then.
No,
Huh.
and but about the time I got into it, my Facebook got locked, and I mean, I still could have researched it, but I was trying to get my Facebook. But we'll research it some more, and maybe we can get a guest or two and
Yeah,
do that another time.
that sounds great.
Because I would like to find out more of the um history and the stories of it before the 1900s.
Right, right. Well, just because we do one show, don't mean we can't do another one later on. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, this girl down here in Virginia, I'd love to get a hold of her and find out what she saw and get her to come on and
Yeah,
do a live thing maybe. It'd be cool to get a live show with her on that because then I get more people on it how I'm doing it with this. So that would be cool.
cool.
That would work.
Well, I'm
This
just
is a this is our first show, so we're doing the best we can, and we're just going to try to get better and better. We're not professionals. We're just two people having a lot of fun doing what we love to do.
and talking about the paranormal and the not
Yeah,
paranormal.
this is about everything. This is going to be about ghosts, goblins. This is going to be about it all. It's not going to be just Bigfoot every week. This is about. And if y'all have something that you want us to talk about, let us know what you want to hear about. We can talk about whatever you want.
Yep, we'll try and research it and see what we can find out.
Love to.
And you all can add in,
And like
give
I
us
say,
thoughts and comments.
right
Nothing
now,
really.
we're doing pre-recorded recorded shows, and people want to get involved, we can go to live shows, and then people can join in that know more, that have experienced it, and I have no problem with that.
Exactly. And in fact, that's what I would love to do is learn from people who know more about it than we do.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's for
and
sure.
just get everybody's opinion. And as I was saying earlier, if you want to comment, blah blah, whatever. If you have a negative comment, that's okay, but be polite. We don't do ugly talk,
That,
bashing.
now for
Right?
that going around,
We
no,
don't do that. And if you got something constructive, okay. Even if something you don't like, okay, but be polite.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
you agree with that, Steve?
100%.
Cool deal. Well, have you got anything else to add?
No, no. Let's next week. Do you want to do Roanoke Island?
Down my way. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You would like to do a show on Roanoke Island next week?
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
Okay, next week we'll be doing a show on Roanoke Island,
Uh,
talking about that mystery.
yeah, Roanoke and Ocracoke.
There you
The
go.
no, what we call it, Steve, is the Lost Colony.
The Lost Colony. There
The
you go.
Lost Colony.
So yeah, okay. Well, next week you'll be next Friday we'll be posting that show, and that'll be something to look forward to if you're interested in the Lost Colony of Roanoke Island. And until then, we thank y'all for watching us, and hit the like and subscribe. And until next time, thank y'all, and God bless you. Y'all have a great one.
God bless you. Thank y'all. And we're gonna try it again next week. Enjoy it.